If I'm going to succeed in America, I need a lifestyle brand of creams and supplements. Gwyneth Paltrow has Goop, Kourtney Kardashian has Poosh, and Jamie Lee Curtis has Poogert. Now I've got mine, Meg Goo, celebrating the sexy earth goddess in all of us.
I watched the Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary. Now, I'll be honest with you, before I watched it, I was not a fan of theirs. But now I've actually heard their side of the story, I hate them.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will still get paid millions of dollars for doing absolutely nothing.
Harry and Meghan are leaving the palace to become financially independent. And you see, this is what happens when you bring the first black woman into the royal family. Yeah, she looked at Harry and she's like, "Nigga, you need to get a job. You a grown-ass man. You can't still be living in your mama's house, Harry."
What the f*** is going on with Harry?
How dare you?
I'll say whatever I want. You're in my house now.
You want a piece of me?
I will f*** you up, girlie.
The focus is starting to shift off of me.
My name is Megan Sussex now. Call me Meghan Markle one more time, Mindy Kaling.
I said H was H was accepted. H has been, H is, and H called me. In with H, and H was out, and with H.
So here we are. The one story Meghan and Harry swore would never be touched, their children, has now become the very center of a storm that could tear their carefully built image apart. At the heart of this fire is none other than Tom Bower, a man known for uncovering hidden royal truths. And this time, he's not whispering rumors. He's dropping claims so direct and so explosive that even the palace is holding its breath. According to Bower, Archie and Lilibet may not be the biological children of Meghan and Harry at all. That isn't just a tabloid sting, it's a wrecking ball aimed at royal legitimacy itself. For a family where bloodline means everything, this is no small question. Today, we're diving into what this scandal means, how it's spiraling out of control, and why silence from both the Sussexes and the palace is only making it worse.
Everyone is wondering what they'll do to support themselves without any of that royal cash. Well, good news, Meghan's already got herself a job.
Here comes the first time in her life that Meghan Markle actually touches food. Let's watch that back. Why is she pushing apples into the salad?
Tom Bower isn't your average royal commentator. He's built a career on publishing the kind of revelations that most insiders are too afraid to touch. And his latest claim could be his most damaging yet. Bower suggests that Meghan and Harry's children may not be their biological offspring, and that surrogacy, or something even more complex, was hidden from the public. The reason this matters is simple. In the monarchy, lineage isn't symbolic, it's the foundation of everything. The right to titles, succession, and public recognition all hinge on bloodline.
That's fine, I'll go it alone, just like Meghan Markle and Prince Harry.
Sir, your millions from Netflix for no one knows what.
Put it with the rest of them.
Babe, time to do our daily $250,000 sponsored Instagram post for Del Taco.
If what Bower is hinting at turns out to be true, then this isn't just about the Sussexes' privacy, it becomes a full-scale constitutional issue. Suddenly, Meghan and Harry's polished family image isn't just in doubt, it's under direct assault. And once a claim like this is out there, the demand for answers becomes impossible to control. Most families would laugh off speculation about their kids. But this isn't most families. The monarchy is built on centuries of strict rules about bloodline and heritage. Every royal title, every place in the line of succession rests on biological legitimacy. If Archie and Lilibet's parentage isn't what Harry and Meghan claim, then their royal status could collapse overnight. This is why the story feels less like gossip and more like an earthquake. The idea that surrogacy was not disclosed, or that outside donors were involved, raises constitutional questions that the palace cannot ignore forever.
Listen, I brought Meghan Markle, whatever her name is, to my Deal or No Deal celebrity golf tournament. She was one of my Deal or No Deal girls that were, she was a caddy for all of my celebrities.
Critics say Meghan and Harry played a dangerous game by trying to control every narrative, hiding inconsistencies in pregnancy timelines and staging photographs. Because in the royal world, perception is power. And now, perception has turned against them. The question is no longer about branding or Netflix contracts, it's about royal truth itself. If reports from Montecito are true, Harry is unraveling under the weight of this scandal. Once seen as the cheeky, resilient prince who overcame tragedy, he's now described as pacing rooms late at night, lashing out at staff, and obsessively reading every article and headline. For someone who has spoken passionately about mental health, the irony is painful. Insiders say Harry's anxiety is consuming him. He replays timelines, compares photos, and reacts angrily to every whisper online. This isn't just a public relations storm, it's personal.
Meghan Markle.
Harry has long presented fatherhood as his redemption arc, the one role that gave him peace after leaving the palace. But if the legitimacy of that fatherhood is now in question, then his entire identity is threatened. Instead of a strong protector, he risks being painted as either a naive victim of Meghan's control or a co-conspirator in secrecy. Neither role is flattering. While Harry reportedly spirals, Meghan is said to be playing the scandal with cold calculation. No tears, no visible panic, just lawyers. Sources claim she's drafting cease and desist letters, threatening media outlets, and looking for ways to silence the story before it spreads further. But here's the problem. Legal threats don't erase public curiosity. If anything, they fuel it. The harder Meghan tries to shut down the conversation, the more people wonder what she's hiding. Critics say this response shows exactly why the couple has lost public trust. They built a brand around authenticity and truth. Yet when the toughest question arrives, their answer is silence and intimidation. Every threatened lawsuit becomes another headline, another reason for skeptics to believe there's fire beneath the smoke.
The trick that people do with pineapple, instead of just cutting it to make the perfect little bite, you follow the wedge. When nature has given you all the cues on how to have a perfect taste of something.
Oh, how fun is that? I love it.
Meghan's strategy may buy time, but in the long run, it risks cementing an image of control, secrecy, and hypocrisy instead of transparency. For years, eagle-eyed observers have pointed out oddities in Meghan's pregnancies. From strangely curated photographs to timelines that didn't quite match up, the inconsistencies have only fueled speculation. Why were there no hospital photos after the births? Why were the announcements vague, with no clear medical records? And why did everything feel more like a staged photo shoot than a genuine family moment? Compare this to William and Kate's children, where the public saw hospital steps, medical staff, and the traditional royal unveilings. With Meghan and Harry, everything was carefully filtered, Instagram-ready but strangely hollow. At the time, critics were dismissed as conspiracy theorists. But now, with Tom Bower's revelations, those old questions have returned with force. Were those inconsistencies simple quirks of privacy, or carefully crafted distractions hiding something deeper? The absence of transparency back then is now feeding a fire that Meghan and Harry can no longer control. Another red flag critics point to is the distance between Archie and Lilibet and the rest of the royal family. William and Kate's children are regularly seen with King Charles, Camilla, and other senior royals. But when it comes to Harry and Meghan's kids, appearances are scarce to non-existent. There have been no official photographs of Archie and Lilibet with their royal grandparents or great-grandparents. Even birthday greetings from the palace have been noticeably absent in recent years. This silence isn't just cold. It's calculated.
No more following Granny's rules. Don't wear your pants on your head, Harry. Don't bath on the butler, Harry. If I want to play polo in my living room, who's gonna stop me?
Stop that! Observers are asking if the palace is deliberately keeping its distance, insulating itself from a scandal it quietly suspects. If true, that would mean the royal family saw this storm coming long before the public did. And rather than confront Harry and Meghan, they simply chose silence, allowing the truth to one day reveal itself without the crown ever being directly implicated. What started as internet whispers has exploded into a mainstream demand. Calls for Harry and Meghan to take a DNA test. Social media hashtags trend daily. Panelists on primetime shows debate the issue, and even respected journalists are openly asking the question. For the Sussexes, this is a nightmare scenario. DNA tests have now become the symbol of truth. If they refuse, it will forever look like they're hiding something. If they agree, and the results confirm doubt, their entire future collapses. Either way, the public pressure isn't going away. People are asking why a couple who spoke endlessly about authenticity now refuse to offer the simplest form of proof. The longer they delay, the more the narrative shifts against them. What began as a scandalous claim has now become a defining ultimatum, and it's one the Sussexes cannot avoid much longer. For years, Meghan and Harry sold the image of the perfect modern family. A beautiful home in California, 2 adorable kids, and a narrative of breaking free from outdated royal constraints. But now, that picture is cracking at the seams. Every polished Netflix documentary and staged Instagram post looks less like authenticity and more like manipulation. The public remembers their speeches about truth and breaking cycles of pain, so the refusal to answer basic questions about their children's origins feels like betrayal. Critics argue the Sussex brand was always about control, not honesty. And with every silence, every legal threat, that perception only deepens. Even their biggest supporters are starting to back away. What was once their strongest weapon, their family image, is now their greatest liability. Without credibility, their empire of media deals, sponsorships, and speaking tours risks collapsing under the weight of secrecy. Behind palace walls, insiders say quiet conversations are happening about what this could mean for the monarchy. If Archie and Lilibet's legitimacy is ever seriously challenged, how would it impact succession? Would titles be stripped? Could the children's place in royal history be erased? The palace has offered no answers, but the silence itself speaks volumes. King Charles and his advisors reportedly know that even the appearance of support could backfire. By keeping a calculated distance, the institution protects itself from being entangled in a scandal that could last for decades. Observers now believe the royal family isn't just ignoring the Sussexes, they're actively preparing for a future where the children's legitimacy becomes a legal or constitutional crisis. And in that scenario, the crown's survival matters more than Harry's redemption. It's a chilling reminder of how ruthless the monarchy can be when its foundation is threatened. At the center of all this chaos lies one unavoidable decision. Harry and Meghan can either agree to DNA testing and attempt to silence the critics, or refuse and live with a legacy of suspicion that may never fade. Both choices are devastating in their own ways. Take the test, and they risk confirming the worst fears. Refuse, and they'll forever be haunted by the question, what are they hiding? Either way, their fairy tale is broken. The once celebrated couple who promised freedom and honesty now face a reckoning that could define their legacy for generations. And this isn't just about the Sussexes, it's about the monarchy, its rules, and its survival in the modern world. When questions of bloodline rise, they don't disappear. They linger, they fester, and they shape history. For Harry and Meghan, that moment of reckoning is no longer in the distance. It's right at their door. And so the question remains, who are Archie and Lilibet really? For Harry and Meghan, the answer should have been simple, but their silence has made it the most complicated and damaging question of their lives. Tom Bower's claims have ripped open a wound that may never heal, and every day without answers only deepens the cut. Harry is left looking powerless, a man whose redemption through fatherhood is now under fire. Meghan's legal threats only strengthen the perception that there's something to hide. And the palace? Their silence may be the loudest of all, signaling that they've chosen the crown over family ties. At the end of the day, this scandal isn't about gossip. It's about legacy, history, and truth. And in the monarchy, those things cannot be faked forever. The world is watching, waiting, and demanding answers. The only question is, will Harry and Meghan ever give them?